Welcome back, everyone, to Traveling with Francoise. I am Francoise Rhodes, your host. So great to have you with us. If you missed the first hour of the show, it's pretty crazy, actually. Live what's happening in Coachella Valley. We're celebrating Craig Campbell's birthday, and that's why this cake is so beautiful. We decided to leave it on the table for you to enjoy. As you see, I have two people sitting next to me. Our guest who originally was going to be on the show, Winston Gisecki from the Desert Sun. I hope I said that correctly. He called in sick, not feeling too well, and I said, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just stay home because I don't want you sitting next to me sick. But who came in the studio, our live audience today, they are both travelers with ACT Tours, and I've traveled with both of them on tours, Gary Schwartz and Lane Flown. How you guys?
Hi.
Yeah, well, you could just sit there for a second while I go over the travel news, but thank you so much. I kind of corralled them in there. We quarantined them in the room and said, you cannot leave. You're going to have to be on the show, only because there is so much to talk about. And everybody, of course, is talking about the coronavirus. So we're going to get into that in just a second, but I want to give a shout out because I know what's going to happen. Sean's behind the board over there. Hey, Sean. Hi.
I put my mic really far away.
You put it, why? So
when I was moving stuff around, I forgot that I moved it.
And the first hour, we were trying to figure out what Gen X, Z, Millennial, and
Right.
all this sort of stuff is. And what did we ever decide about you? We don't know.
I'm in millennial.
You're a
yeah.
millennial kind of that started in whatever.
I think they just make it up as they
Birthing
go.
thing. Yeah, they come up with all this stuff. They're getting so many now, they don't even know where to go. So, but I know I'm going to forget this today because when we start talking, and when Lane and Gary and I all start talking about travel and whatnot, I will forget about the Gal on the Go travel segment by Bruce Titus, VW of Palm Springs. So I apologize right off. So I want to give Bruce Titus, VW of Palm Springs, a shout out before I do it and forget the Gals on the Go, because it's really important that everyone out there, all you gals that drive around like I do solo a majority of the time, make sure your vehicle is in good shape. And you can always go over to VW of Palm Springs. They'll check everything out for you. And while you're there, you might just want to buy yourself a new car. So they have a lot of selections over there. So again, I wanted to say that before I forget. So coronavirus is all the world. I mean, it's all over the world. We even have a case here now in the Coachella Valley, but frankly, and feel free, you guys, to just jump in at any time. Today, we're just going to kind of do a free-for-all.
Okay.
All right? Don't feel, and make sure you hold that mic up when you're talking. A month ago, I said to myself, there's no way that the Coachella Valley would not get cases of the coronavirus here.
So many international travelers coming here.
Yeah, all the time. So, I mean, it was a matter of, were we going to say anything when it did come in or try to keep it a little quiet because of all these big events, one right after the other, and what it's doing to the travel industry? Well, it is here. They're very vague about it, but life is going on, Lane, as we saw last night when we were on El Paseo.
It was busy.
As if, hold that mic up.
Oh, it was busy.
Yeah, I mean, and not one mask.
No, not a mask at all.
Not a mask at all. Gary, have you seen any masks, people wearing masks at the stores or whatnot?
I haven't seen anybody wear any masks.
Yeah, see, and you just got back from a trail riding outing with ACT Tours. Where did you guys go exactly?
The Coachella Valley Preserve.
Okay, and you were in a wagon pulled by horses.
Mules.
Oh, mules.
Covered
Okay,
wagons, yeah.
covered wagons, and you were out there. It was for a barbecue, and there were quite a few people, I imagine.
There was about 50 of us.
About 50 of us. Did anybody even mention coronavirus?
Nobody mentioned anything. They were just
Yeah.
too busy having fun.
Having a fun time, yeah. So it's really, the International Association of Travel Agents predicts the 2020 global revenue losses for the passenger aviation industry of between $63 and $113 billion because of this. I mean, we're talking $1 billion. It says the lower end assumes COVID-19 would be contained in current markets with over 100 cases as of March 2nd. But that didn't happen because then the spread became even more broad. So now it's almost before, I would say, the end of March. It'll probably be in every state in the United States. But again, like they're saying, it's a bad, for many of us, it's just a flu.
Right. Unless you're maybe a little bit older and have some other outstanding health issues too. And then
Then it's more than the flu.
Yeah, it could get
Yes.
you much
Mhm.
worse, I guess.
Yeah. And working in a hospital, I'm thinking to myself, I thought, you're a healthcare worker, and Sean, your wife works in the healthcare industry.
Correct.
What is she saying about this? Are they all
What's funny
panicking
is
at the
nothing.
hospital?
No. No, not yet. I
No?
mean, I'm after this morning, and I mean, she's not at Eisenhower; she's at Desert. But I'm assuming after this morning, things will probably change a little bit in all the hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna make sure they have their protocols ready, and you know, you got to be more proactive than reactive. I think with stuff like this.
Right. And all of it. And then, but to the point though, where they're already talking about quarantine tents and all this sort of
Right.
stuff. And
Right. I don't think we're close to that.
I kind of think that it goes back to just have people go home and stay in their house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're just feeling kind of sick, like just
Which
regular
just with a regular flu, if you
regular
don't feel
flu
well,
site
stay home.
symptoms, I don't think we need to be locked in a tent somewhere.
No.
No.
Yeah.
And I liked what Craig was saying in the first hour about it's going to be a litmus test to see how the B&P goes and if it, and I know they have lots of sanitizing and hand washing places I've been reading about, and see how it turns out when that week is over. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll all be good.
And almost everywhere you go now, they're sanitized, those little dispensers everywhere.
Yeah.
So we just have to, we should be using them.
When I was going to Costco, there was a lady at the door handing out wipes.
Oh, was she?
wow.
Oh.
Which was a good idea, but it made it confusing because she didn't want to see your card.
Oh,
So
she-
everybody's used to the person at the door seeing your card. So they're trying to show her the card, and she's like, no, her. But if you want to wipe, I'm here. It was just.
And you know, when
a
I
lot
go to
going
the
on.
store, I see people right away grab the little towelettes out of the dispenser and
Right.
wipe down the cart and stuff. I'm sorry, I usually carry a bag in there and walk out with my bag, and sometimes I get a cart, and I guess maybe I should do that, but I don't do that.
I do it, and then I've also been reading, wipe your hands with it too,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
the cart.
But then I think too, if I'm wiping down the cart and then I wipe my hands, if there was germs on it, am I just giving myself the
Well, it's
germs?
supposed to
still?
kill
I
the
don't
germs.
know.
They're not supposed
I
to
don't
just
know.
take them away.
It's all very confusing. All right. Well, speaking of those dispensers, Disney and Universal install more sanitizer dispensers in the parks. Also, theme park employees are being instructed about the importance of good hygiene practices to help prevent the spread of the virus, which shouldn't they have had that before?
Yes.
Yeah. Does it take a virus to tell us to be a little bit more careful about
Wash
that?
our hands.
It's like a restaurant saying, hey, guess what? We put wash your hands signs to the employees in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They should have been already.
Yeah, isn't that a law that they're supposed to do that anyway? Yeah. All right. Kim Sinke has opened the Grand Hotel Bristol, the luxury hotel group's second property in Havana. But this is interesting. The Grand Hotel Bristol joins a sister property in the Cuban capital. However, both hotels are on the U.S. Department of State's list of restricted entities, which prohibits U.S. travelers from staying at either. Blacklisted hotels are typically controlled by Cuba's military intelligence or security services. The new hotel is near the city's national capitol building. So I kind of wondered, do I really want to go to a hotel that is, I don't know, patrolled by military? And would that be a fun feeling? I don't. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it if they have machine guns in the lobby or something.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't-
not going. Now, Gary, you have traveled extensively in your life, and I think a lot of it was through the military. Right? Wrong? No?
No.
No, you had to sit up to the
No.
mic. Okay, there we go. Well, I'm going to start hitting them to get to the mic. No.
Well-
All right. So,
well, I was in a military family, so we
Okay.
did travel every year.
because you have sent me for a travel photo contest, you sent me pictures from all over the world. So you obviously at some point were traveling quite a bit. Was that just for fun?
Just for fun.
Oh, okay. Have you been to Cuba?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Lane, have you been to Cuba?
No, so we can go there now?
No.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah, we're
thinking. They had a
not
cruise
not
and they
going
were
there.
saying you could
Yeah.
stop. and then-
Yes. You still can go if it's with escorted groups under the assumption that you're there to learn. It's educational or business, but you have to stay within your group. You can't just go and travel freely like everybody does when they come to the United States or whatnot. So yes, travel to Cuba has been cut way back with everything, but staying at this hotel now that blacklisted hotels, I'm wondering, will they even it sounds like they won't even let U.S. travelers stay there. That's what it sounds to
like
me.
it, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, here's something that I don't know if either one of you would be interested in doing, but Richard Branson's space tourism line last week said it started taking new deposits for its $250,000 per person flights from New Mexico's spaceport, America. It's only $1,000 down
Gee,
to
I
reserve
wanna
your
take
spot.
the whole family. Wow,
Yeah.
it's only $250.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
the bigger question is, Gary, if you had the opportunity for free, would you go into space?
Yes.
And why? I mean, what draws you to go? I know I would go in a second because I just would want to experience. Even if I only went once, I would want the experience of being able to be up there in the weightlessness, looking down on Earth. I mean, I would find that all very exciting. And what would be your draw to go?
Just to see what the Earth looks like from outer space.
From outer space, yeah. And Lane, would you go?
No,
You wouldn't go?
no, I think I'd be a chicken. No,
Really? Because you don't have any interest of
not really.
the flight up or the reentry? No, not
No.
your thing?
Nope.
Yeah. Which it's really torn. I'm sure, well, of course, the $250,000.
A little deterrent.
They did sell out the first wave of tickets that they sold for Virgin Galactic, but there's no word on when actually they're going to be doing this, when these flights are going to start. So I don't think I'd want to be the first group of passengers to go. I would like them to have a few under their belt before would be my thing. Yeah. But it's going to be, it's going to be like the Jetsons and stuff one day. It's going to happen. I don't know if it will be in our lifetime, but it is going to happen where people are going to be traveling out in space. There's a writer, J.D. Robb, who writes fictional thrillers, and they're all set in the world 2054, 2056 or whatnot, and it talks about where people are flying around. Their cars can actually fly as well as drive, but it talks about all these off-planet sites that people go to, and a lot of them are off-planet prisons where they took people, which really is not a bad idea to put off-planet. Sean, would you go into space, Virgin Galactic, if it was free?
Yeah, I would go.
You would go.
I think I'm like you. I don't think I'd do one of the first few.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd let them get some kinks out first.
Yeah,
but,
definitely
I think it'd be
interesting. That surprises me because you're the one that says you don't like
I,
going anywhere.
I don't, but I don't want to get on the freeway. I wouldn't mind going out of the world.
Oh,
I would
say?
either like to go really high up or really far
Uh-huh.
down. So I would like to do really deep sea, deep. You know?
In a submarine?
No, but like
all the way down.
yeah, like
and
where we
see-
can't go yet.
Yeah, you can. Interesting.
That's what I want to see.
Well, Craig, I have to ask you: would you go into space? Oh, he's eating a donut. I'm sorry. Oh, would you, if it was free? Would you go?
Absolutely, 100%.
And why?
Well, because who doesn't want to go to outer space? Well, I guess
Lane
your guests
doesn't
don't.
want to go
so.
to outer space.
I'm in the group.
That's
I don't
okay,
know.
though.
There's just something, I just remember, I was a child when the moonwalk happened, or, the fake moonwalk happened, whatever the moonwalk happened.
Yep.
And so, when you kind of grow up into that era, there's something about space that's really very exciting. I had all the planets in my room and, different, posters and all those kind of things. So wouldn't it be spectacular to be able to go up in space? I hear just looking back at Earth is the thing that is
pretty amazing.
that just blows your mind, that you realize how maybe insignificant you are and that maybe there is something bigger than you. And I always hear that seems to be the magical moment. So I'm interested in that magical moment.
Well, I'd say we have a group together. We have 5 of us. So
I'm
Well,
the welcoming
$50,000 a
homecoming.
okay,
piece.
you have everything because
That's
we'll
what
be
Gary
so
came up with, yeah.
traumatized by the time we get back. We'll need to have some welcoming home.
So I did the math real quick. 5 of you, $50,000 a piece gets me a present.
Oh,
I was gonna
okay.
say.
Well,
So
we'll
there you
keep
go. There
that
you go.
in
Yeah,
mind.
there you go. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
I forgot my checkbook.
Yeah. And for those of you who are wondering where Winston is, as I said earlier, Winston wasn't feeling well, and he's going to be on with us next Sunday. And I thought he did say, I'll come over if you want, but I'm running a fever. And I think at this point, with everything going on, we're just fine. Stay home, Winston.
That
Yeah.
should be interesting,
Yeah.
though, to see how he's traveled with his dogs.
11 countries,
In
2 dogs.
Foreign travel, yeah.
Yes, when
Wow.
he said that, because we were just talking about nonprofit and whatnot, and I talked to him about being on the show, and I said, have you been traveling? He said, oh, yeah. In fact, you'd probably find this interesting. And when he told me that, I went, wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment.
No kidding.
All right, latest targets of fraudsters are hotel and airline loyalty points. That and besides the masks, I mean, did you see on the news where people now, Amazon, I think, cut off the sales of masks. Facebook cut out the ads for sales of the masks to wear during the coronavirus because people are saying that you send us money, we'll send you a mask, and they're not getting the masks. I mean, really? I mean, what next? So this is the latest fraud. They say right now, stolen this year alone, it's been over $1 billion in point rewards
Really?
system. How they're getting in, it's like getting into a credit card system, I imagine. They're transferring these points into their names, and they're using these loyalty points for themselves. So if you're really big into the loyalty points, Be careful. Check your points often. I am the worst about that. I really am. I forget that I even have them. I don't take advantage of them. Sean, do you take advantage of your loyalty points?
I don't think I have. I don't.
You don't even. Yeah, you don't pay attention. Gary, are you into loyalty points and using them?
I have mine as soon as I get them. They're deposited right in my account.
Right.
Oh, you haven't converted them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't. You can do that. I see. I don't even know that. Lane, do you follow your loyalty points?
I haven't flown a lot. I had an Alaska Air, and I got my miles on that. And yes, I've used them several times.
Oh boy, I'm way behind in that. So I need to. I have one card that I use for traveling with Francoise. That now that I'm telling you all, so don't go in and steal them. Who's ever out there watching?
I was going to say that too. As far as them stealing it,
Yeah.
a lot of times people will use their email password for stuff like that because they feel like, oh, it's not a big deal because it's not cash or whatever. I mean, yeah,
Right.
you can use them, but it's not actual cash.
Right.
But in reality, when they steal your password to your email, they're just trying a bunch of those to see who uses the same password. So you got to have
Right.
different passwords.
Yes, and do you know I have a stack of pages this thick of passwords for different accounts, and it's just I don't even know.
It's
I
a
was trying
pain.
to get into a Yelp account the other night, and it took me 3 times before I finally found the right one for that account, and it's crazy. I just it's too many, and then they have these systems where you use one. That's Craig over there doing something I know what he's doing, and you use one. They tell you use one and through a cloud account, and that opens everything for you. But then I think someone hacks into that, then they have your password for absolutely everything. So
That's what I have though too. But what I did was but see, the thing that you do with that one is you just make it a very long, hard to break password is what you want to try to do with that.
So
then
now
you
we
only
know
have
for
to use
Sean.
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to break into Sean's stuff, make sure that it's really long and confusing and you're getting in there. All right, Expedia to eliminate 3,000 jobs. But this was actually going on before the coronavirus. Expedia was actually cutting some jobs back then. They were reorganizing, trying to tighten it all up. I think airlines and hotels are coming back with their own plan now to sort of combat because they get a small they discount the rate so much. The hotel obviously isn't making as much. Expedia, they get a percentage of what the rooms they sell and stuff. So now the airlines are saying, if you want deals, call us directly. A lot of hotels are saying, if you want a better price, call us directly. Don't go through these sites. And I have found calling the airlines, you'll get better service. And I'm sorry, but it's just you have to figure if these companies are being able to get the prices really low, they're not just doing
getting
it for
from
free.
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, and you'll see more of that. I think as time goes. I mean, even with Uber, like Uber Eats, like there's a lot of fast food joints that are like, oh, well, you can just order on our app.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, why are we paying somebody else
to deliver
to give you our food?
Right, and we'll just hire somebody that will take it over there.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting what's happening in all those areas of where these were businesses to help a business get by, but now the businesses are realizing, especially in the travel world and dining out and whatnot, that they can do it themselves and pay someone less, and that person gets tips and it stays within their company. So, and United is hiking its fees for checked baggage. United will increase checked baggage fees for domestic and short-haul Caribbean flights starting with travel beginning March 6th. So it has already started. The price will be $35 for the first checked bag and $45 for the second checked bag, up from the current rates of $30 and $40. Flyers who booked before this date, who paid the bag fees online, will continue to pay the current rate. So bag fees are going up, and there's really nothing we can do about it.
Just another way to get our money, like resort fees in the hotels and
right. Which
stuff.
now they're really fighting the resort fees. There's a big campaign out there. The government is actually getting involved because the resort fees are getting out of hand.
Crazy.
Now, Gary, I know you're going to go to Mexico. And when you travel light? Do you carry suitcase, carry-on? Do you check a bag? How do you go?
Either a backpack or a carry-on suitcase.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it, yeah. And Lane?
Oh, I wish I could travel that light.
I know at Lake Powell, you had this little to-go bar. So everybody
yes.
wanted her bar, folks. It was just a little suitcase. You open it up, and it had everything. It was pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Yes, my parents enjoyed a cocktail when they were alive, and I guess I inherited that when they died, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect on a bus trip. So
Yeah. It is priceless. Actually, that little suitcase bar is priceless. I've never even seen one like it. Very cool.
Yeah.
But you like to carry a few more bags with you?
Well, I don't take for that, which was 5 days. I think I had a medium-sized suitcase, and then I have a CPAP machine. You got to carry too, and then that. So if I was just going somewhere, I try to take my smallest piece of luggage, of course, but
Yeah.
but it's going to not be a backpack and a
Yeah.
small one because I got way too much stuff
Yeah,
for
way
that.
too much stuff. Yeah, I've been thinking about Hawaii already, and I really want to just do. I have this bag that a company sent me that's made to fit right underneath the seat in front of you, and it's made it's a perfect size, but yet it's large. It's more up than wide, so you can fill it up with quite a bit of stuff. And every time I use this bag, people are always saying, "Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?" And then I have a carry-on too that will go in the luggage rack, and I'm really going to keep it down because I used to be one that would have to take 10 pairs of shoes with me, and I really decided that I don't need 10 pairs of shoes when I travel. One for every outfit didn't work, so I've learned to pack with certain colors. Black and white's usually the easiest for me to pack.
And
Yeah,
just mix and match your clothes.
mix and
stuff
match. You get something on it. No one sees it because it's black, so you can still rewear
and most
it.
people
So
wouldn't remember anyways, what you were wearing the day before. So
that's true. That is true.
yes.
So speaking about travel, Lane, you just really started traveling a little bit more recently in the last year or so.
Yes, with you on the trip to Lake Powell and the Grand Canyon. I retired in May of last year, and so I just had time, and I thought that just sounded fine. 5 days, and it was so darn much fun, and I met so many nice people on there, and in fact, I have met 2 ladies that we've gone on 2 more tours together, just the day trips, and it was just great. I really enjoyed it. So I love the day trips too.
And I have to. And I'm gonna sneeze.
And the people are so
Sneeze,
friendly.
Thank you. I was gonna sneeze. Oh my gosh! See on the radio, what do, Sean? You just turn it off and yeah. Okay, anyway, excuse me, but I didn't sneeze. So, but I'm gonna say I used to always think, because I heard the horror stories of bus trips, of the bag having to be out at 6 o'clock by the door in the morning, and they just seem so strict. And now that I've done a few, I understand where you do have to keep a certain timeline because of the bus driver can only drive so many hours a day. That's a big one that people don't realize, that the bus driver is only allowed to drive so many hours a day. And plus, when you do have scheduled stops where people are expecting to meet you, you do kind of want to be around, show up the time that they're waiting to meet you for whatever, whether it's lunch or a show that they're providing you or whatever. So I understand the why there needs to be some structure to bus trips. But now after escorting a few, I really find that they're a fun, easy way to travel.
I like it a lot, and I get road rage really quick just driving around these streets. There's so many crazy drivers, and it's just such a treat to have somebody driving me, and I can just rubberneck and look at everything and the scenery as we're going by. That's one of the things I love the most about being on a bus trip.
And that's what I'm finding, even as the escort, it's kind of nice for me to be able to sit and look around. And so I love to drive, but and not have to worry about the hotel, because someone else has made all the arrangements for everything.
Yes.
Except for where am I going to eat tonight or whatever. And it's kind of nice to have that option. Not that you need to do it every time if that's not your thing, but to have the option to do it. They really are really fun. Now, Gary, you have been on some bus trips, and I don't imagine you were quite a bus trip person before, were you?
I like it when it's escorted. That way you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And like they say, take the bus, leave the driving to us.
There you go. When you were traveling, though, and some of the pictures you showed me, the Caribbean, there are a lot of pictures. Were you doing those solo trips or family trips, or were they organized trips?
Solo trips on my own.
Solo trips on your own. Okay. So now you're kind of getting into the bus and finding the bus trip for certain things that you want to go to, and it's a lot more relaxing. Yeah.
Very much so.
Very much so, yeah. And Mexico, you're going on a group trip. Are you worried about the coronavirus at all?
No, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
You don't.
Don't worry about it.
You know what? You're right. If someone walks up to us, for all we know, Sean has it and he's not telling us. You don't have it, do you, Sean? No.
I don't think I have enough people around me to
Oh,
have it
okay.
yet.
All right. Yeah. But in fact, when I was going to the store, this is kind of interesting too. How many of you, when you are out there and you are at the supermarket or just doing the normal things that your normal daily routines, look around and wonder, does anyone else have coronavirus here?
Well, what's funny is when I went to Costco, it was the day that the first death had happened in Washington. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking through Costco thinking, how many of these people are from Washington right
See,
now?
it does make
As
you
I'm standing
think,
next to my
yeah.
dad from Washington, I'm thinking, I don't know if
Yeah,
I want to be with
right,
any of you.
Your dad's from Washington. I thought about it at first for all the Asian travelers. I thought, how would it be? How would you feel being Asian right now? And all this is happening over there, and you're walking around somewhere else. Do you feel the eyes on you of people thinking you might be sick? What are
Right.
you doing here? Now we're sort of by all that part of it into just anybody could be sick. Gary, do you think about it when you go out and about?
Not at all.
No, he doesn't even care. He's probably carrying it and doesn't even know. Lane, do you think
I
about
don't really think about it too much, but I had read an article last week, and an Asian lady had been confronted by someone. You
Yep.
know, it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Right.
You know,
But I could see that happening because of the fear. The media keeps pounding it in our head,
Yeah.
pounding it in our head, pounding it in our head. One case in a country, and it acts like we're supposed to quarantine the whole country.
Yes.
One person walked through an airport, and it's just, I mean, they're really, they have everybody so on edge now
Yeah.
and so afraid of everything that it's sad because it's just escalating. I mean,
It's
we're
ignorance.
right. Some people are
Most of it
almost
is ignorance.
right, ignorance. I think people are beyond the point of common sense
Right.
to where they're just doing crazy things. And I know you both were at the ACT meeting
Yes.
last week. The news was there, did a story with Steve and showed everybody in the room. They did a pan of the room, no masks in there. I think Steve said maybe there was one person that had a mask on.
I don't remember seeing
I
anybody.
know
and they had
one
those,
lady last month, not this one, but in February, she was wearing a mask
Oh,
then.
was she?
Yeah, but I didn't see any other people. What did you feel after what Steve talked about the coronavirus? What were you thinking after he talked?
Well, he had that big special mask too that they got at Home Depot, and it was closer to like a gas mask.
Oh,
or
did he
something,
put that-
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was not just a little cloth one. It was just the same thing, and it was interesting though. I think what I got, and tell me if you agree with me, that insurance, if you had trip insurance, it's not going to be covered to cancel because of the coronavirus,
Right.
unless you had some super deluxe.
It's one that's for all. It's all something. There's a name of it. All something cancellation. All reason cancellation. I think that's what it's called. That's the only one.
and that's a super pricey
That's the one,
probably,
right? The one that no matter what it is, you
Yeah.
just don't want. You will get your
I
refund.
have a
but-
hangnail, I can't go.
Exactly. No, exactly. And and that's the only one that you had. The others, no, unless the companies are trying not to cancel anything that doesn't need to be canceled, or they're actually rebooking people on different trips. Later on down the line, hoping by then it clears up. So it is a nightmare for them. But there are some people that are so afraid they're just canceling anyway, just because they're so afraid. So
We were talking to some ladies sitting next to me, and they are heading for a Dutch river cruise, and it's in, I think, the end of this month. And they're just still excited about it.
excited about going. Yeah, they should be. So I'm excited. Like I say, Hawaii's on a go. So I just
And when is that?
at
early
the end of this
April?
month.
Oh, the end.
In this month, I think my biggest concern would be that quarantine part, and I would just want to come home. If somebody did, I would just want to come home and lock myself up in the house
Yeah.
and not do that. All right. Okay. Is there anything else that you two would like to share with us? Gary, I'm kind of forced Gary to be on, but it's okay. Good job, Gary.
Thank you.
Applause for Gary for doing it. Thank you. Yes, I know. This is Elaine. Thank you so much for just jumping in because Winston wasn't feeling good. It's fun to have you guys on.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Now you can go back and watch yourself and say what everybody does. We're so critical about ourselves on camera. So with that note, see, when's St. Patrick's Day? Not this week, the following week, I think, right? Yeah,
Right,
we have
today's the
another
8th, so-
17th. So it'll be
Tuesday.
of the following week. So we have next Sunday, we'll talk about St. Patrick's Day, places to go, and what people are spending on it. We'll see how all of this affects St. Patrick's Day. Who knows what's going to happen? But until next time, folks, just use common sense out there. For all the information we talked about in the first hour of the show, live what's happening in Coachella Valley, go to CoachellaValley.com for a copy to watch this show over and over, and the first hour over and over. Go to travelingwithfrancoise.com. You will also see the television show, the podcast, everything else, the contest page, which will be updated again, should be updated by tomorrow evening with more fresh contests on there. Everything is free. Check it out. Be careful. Use some common sense. Go out and enjoy yourself. Anyway, I'm going to. And remember, it's never too late to get a life. See you next time. Bye.